What's good, y'all? So, without further ado, you guys know I had these calls where I like to bring in not only top agents, but agency owners. And today I have somebody who I don't say everybody's a friend, but somebody's near and dear to my heart. Legitimately, like you guys can check the record. It's still on Instagram, probably. This is literally my first legitimate, like, cold client outside of people I knew, didn't know each other. And this gentleman took a chance on me. Every single person I talk to knows I bring him up because he was the first person to really give me my opportunity to kind of break into the space, and he was already doing this thing. But I want to welcome none other than my brother, Austin Jones, AJ, man. Appreciate you for taking some time, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's been a long time, man. We've been going at it for a while now. It feels like it was yesterday. I remember you hit me up. You told me that you were trying to learn about, you were building this business with the leads and you just wanted me to try them out. And your approach was different, which is what intrigued me. It was like, hey, I'm gonna give you some free leads. I just want you to test them and let me know what you think. I was like, I mean, what do I have to lose? Look sharp. Never heard of you before. What do I have to lose? And then as we got to talking, I gave you some feedback and I saw that you were a forward thinker. I saw you were a big vision thinker, and I'm the same way. And at that time, I was doing well, but why not give back and try to help someone that's on their way up that does things the right way and they're looking for an opportunity. So that was just kind of my mindset at that point, and I'm thankful I gave you a shot, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And yeah, let's hop into it. First and foremost, can you give people just like a quick overview about like who you are? Your background could be pretty quick, until you're getting into the insurance space.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Austin, AJ, whatever you want to call me. Been in the business now for almost 6 years. Started out in health insurance, was a multi-million dollar producer on my own personal pen there. I was looking to build and recruit, and I was at a captive company, and they really didn't want to teach you how to do that. So I transitioned out from there, and then I got into the life insurance space where I met you not long after. I mean, life insurance had a lot of success. First year, we did over 10 million points for the year. So that's $10 million that were paid out to the agents and commissions. And I personally did over 400,000 on my own personal pen. So I've always been a top producer, always been a builder as well. And around the end of that year is when I met with Trey, and you guys really just helped us take this thing to a whole nother level. So we did over 12 million. I left that company, started all the way over, been rocking with you. You've been there, from that point as well, built up another $1 million business. And, you've been there every step. So you've helped us not only from the leads for, selling, we did leads with recruiting. We've tried a little bit of everything. CRM, like we've done all these different things. And it's amazing to see how your business has grown with us. And with every need that we ever needed, you were always there to pivot and make sure it happened. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to touch on something. So, for those of you who don't know, he did mention that I DM'd him. We hopped on a call. He tried the leads out. What he didn't tell y'all was like, first few leads, he made a sale. I'll never forget. He texted me. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I made 3 grand. Like, I'm good." He turned
Yeah.
the ads off. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, I've seen enough." And to me, that spoke a lot about his character because literally without me saying anything, he put me in contact with his leaders at the time, which we won't drop any names. One of them, you guys know, I talk about him all the time. But he put me in contact with leaders. I just want to ask you as a leader, because since I've met you, a lot of people we meet, they come in as individual agents, get them into the program, we built them up, and then we help them start recruiting people, etc. But you came in with an established agency. Can you talk about the mindset of like putting your leaders in position to succeed? Because I've literally watched you turn your leaders into large agencies. Can you talk about kind of like what agency owners should be looking for when it comes to putting their leaders in position to succeed?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me was, is it scalable? If this is scalable, it's funny because the leader you're talking about specifically reached out and they were doing decent, but they were looking to take this thing to another level. And he was like, "Hey man, look, I know you got something up your sleeve at all times. I just want you to give me the game. Like I want to be a Hall of Fame producer. I'm trying to build a big agency. What else are you doing different than most people?" And it was funny because I literally had just started with you. And I was like, I pretty much gave you everything. I just started working with this guy and, I made a couple sales off, my first few leads. And I think that this is what I'm going to go forward with and really expand. And I remember got him a conversation with you. He fell in love and boom, it just blew him up. But for me, I always was just looking like as an agency owner, how can you scale this thing to the next level? A lot of us, depending on the vehicle, right? A lot of times agency owners are afraid to put their people in position because they don't want them to blow up because now they're running too much of the organization or, you just try to keep people where you're at. My whole goal has always been, I want to make people as independent as possible. And what I love about you is I can be hands off and your staff is going to do everything for them. And obviously in the beginning, it was just you, right? But, we had that forward thinking of, hey, I remember we met here because you live in Nashville too. And we met and, we sat down at the table and we're talking about what this thing can look like. And we had the same vision, which is we're going to have staff, we're going to grow this thing, we're going to scale this thing. So for me personally, like when it comes to agency owners, I'm never going to hold anything back because number one, I feel like 80% of what you tell the agency owner, they're never going to do. So I don't know why you would be so confused with helping them, because the ones that do latch on and do what you do, it's only going to blow them up, which is only going to help you. So I always was just looking like for something that is scalable, duplicatable, something that's easy, plug and play, and you provided all of that. So for me, it was just simple to be like, hey, I'm going to tell all my agency owners, hey, this is what you need to do. All my leaders, this is what you need to do. And then it was plug and play and everybody blew up.
Right. And to piggyback off of that, I want to ask two questions. The first question is, when you have that agency owner or you have new agents coming in, like what's the game plan that you would give them? A lot of people, and give you context. So a lot of our new clients that we're working with, especially it's 2025 of this recording, we're starting to get agency owners coming in, but they're asking these questions about like, what should I get agents started on? You literally, for everybody that didn't understand what he said, built his business up twice to $1 million. So I want to know like, what's the play that agency owners should be putting their agents on in terms of like lead type, and like why should they be doing that to help them kind of get up and running fast?
I think the biggest thing is everyone is confused because there's so many different options, right? You got the IULs, you got final expense, you got vet leads, you got nurse leads, you got driver leads, you got just final expense, you got IULs, you got annuities, you have all these things. So as an agency owner, you want something that you can teach people quickly how to get paid. So for us, we have what's called a first 48. My goal is for you to get enough volume quality leads that you can actually have enough opportunities, one, but two, something that's going to get you paid very quickly, not something that's going to take a while to learn or, it's going to take you months. So for us, we just factored in on mortgage protection specifically. And the reason being is because it's going to be higher AP per deal, better clientele. They have a larger asset to protect, and the business is just stickier. So I want to put people in position to win, one, but also I want to make sure that it's something that you can teach and teach very quickly so that they can get on the phones as fast as possible. So for me, like any agent or agency owner, that's what I always recommended. Hey, let's start with the mortgage protection, learn that, and then we'll scale up from there. And then you can jump into IULs, annuities, and different things like that. Like the agency owner you were talking about, that's exactly what he did. And he's just taken off. Now he's going to earn over $1 million this year from what he's been able to do with his organization, as well as, his own personal pen. So I think that's important, is just starting with something that's extremely duplicatable, putting yourself in a position to where, one, you've done it, because a lot of agency owners are lazy, if we just being honest. They just want to tell you to go do something they've never done, but you do it. And then also now it should be duplicatable to where you have the systems in place to help these agency owners go out and scale and throw these people in this plug and play system. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then I want to talk to you, and I have had a lot of conversations about this, but this is super important for them to hear from you. Can you talk about the mindset shift from like life insurance agency owner to business owner? Like, what does that mean to you when you hear that?
It's a lot, because a lot of people, they don't even know the difference. They think that they're a business owner because they're an agency owner, but agency owners, in my opinion, are glorified sales managers. That's what they are. You can manage people, say, hey, make this amount of dollars, make this, that, whatever. At that point, that's the issue, is you have not made that transition over to being an actual business owner, like learning your credit, knowing what to do with your credit, having your credit right, your business credit, funding, understanding all of that, making sure that you are teaching your agents not only just to be a personal producer, but how to save their money, invest their money, having your own investments. Like there's so many different factors, and being an actual agency owner slash business owner, right? Having staff, having these people in position to where they're able to help your business scale. If you're the one doing everything, you're going to be stuck. You got to learn how to take yourself out of the business and let it run on its own. If you can't step away from your business, you don't have a business. So making sure that you're able to delegate things off to people and focusing on the things that you do the best. If I'm a great trainer and I'm a great closer and I'm a great identifier of talent to where I can develop these new agency owners or, these new leaders, let me focus on that, and I'm going to delegate everything else off to the other people. And so I think that that's huge, and that's the hardest thing in business, is learning how to put a business in place to where you have the structure from credit to financing to, having your LLC, your S Corp, everything in place, having your holding account, your trust. That's one thing. Then the other side is having an infrastructure of staff that will allow your business to grow and scale. And now you can take yourself out of these positions and let them do their thing. And that's what a business owner is to me, if that makes sense.
No, you're spot on. And I want to talk about for business. Um, One of the key things that you mentioned is like been in this together. Like when I started, it was just me. You've watched me gain staff and get leverage for myself and actually build a business. Because at first I was just a dude who knew how to run ads. I want to talk about branding for a second. You are very good at branding, whether it's like organically, but also from a paid side. Can you talk about really the transition from you and your agents from when we were first running leads and it was just final expense, mortgage, whatever, to like now having things branded as your agency to the recruiting leads? Like what has been the difference? What have you seen from having your brand on all of the marketing versus how we used to do it when we first started 3 years ago, where we were just running ads?
I think marketing is key. The more eyeballs you have, the more income you'll make. And so you have to have a brand. People need to know how to identify you and separate you from anyone else. If you're just pushing one company, then why would I need to come work with you versus anyone else within the company? So building a brand, I believe, is extremely important. One, is going to attract the people that you're looking for based on the brand that you've created. Two, it's something that you can have forever, right? Like if I have this brand, no matter if I transition out of insurance in the next 15, 20 years or whatever I decide to do, I have a brand, I have a following, I have people that are invested in my brand, invested in me. And that's something that I will continue to get paid on in the future. So I think branding is extremely important. It's just going to separate you from anyone else. And also it gives you ownership. Like if you are just pushing someone else's company instead of your own company that you take ownership over, you create the name, you create the logo, you create all this stuff. I think for you personally, it's going to give you that ownership of this is mine, this is my baby. I'm going to be more invested in it than ever. And I think that's extremely important.
So from the past 3 years that we've been together, I've also watched you grow a lot. Can you talk a little bit about what you've learned about like ads, CRM, and like having this ownership mindset specifically to you in the past 3 years of us kind of like working together? Like, what have you learned? What are some of kind of like the lessons? What would you also suggest to anybody that's looking to kind of duplicate something similar to you if they're looking to get into this?
I think one thing I learned very quickly is whoever's in control of your marketing, your technology, your systems, then that's going to be the person that's in control of your money. The reason why I've been able to go from one company to the next and build it up quick is because we got control of our marketing, we got control of our technology, we got control of our systems. And so for me, moving forward, I was always like, okay, I want to have a CRM that works the way we want it to work. Not me always having to call and say, man, we should change this or we should do that. I want my branding on my CRM. I want, the leads to us to be in control of the marketing. So we know what's on the ads and we know the type of quality lead that's coming to our agents to make sure that they're able to have the most success possible. We wanted to always have access over it, even when it comes to the recruiting leads, making sure that we're able to bring in people through attracting marketing, but we are over and in control of the marketing that goes on, which is why the partnership was so great, is because we're able to tell you guys, hey, this is what we want. And you're able to brand it and white label it and do everything that's needed to make sure that we feel like we have that ownership and we feel comfortable. And that allows us to be able to scale and grow and really pivot and do what we need to do because we have that control. So if you're still relying on someone else for their CRM or their leads or their this, fortunately, you're not in control of your own business, which is going to hurt you in the long run. And it's not going to help you. But in the beginning, you leverage that, you use that. But as you grow and you scale, you definitely want to take control over those things.
Right. And I want to touch on something that I haven't really noticed until I met you and watched you over the years. Can you talk to can you talk about why you believe that getting people started with age leads can be beneficial? Because I've seen you actually put people intentionally through that ringer. Can you kind of walk through the psychology of why you would want an agent to start there? And what situation would you say, hey, you should start with age leads versus this person's ready to hop into fresh? Could you break that down?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, it's a volume thing, right? Like activity is what wins, right? I saw a post from the CEO. He said, it's not the most talented that have the success, it's the ones that have the most grit, right? Talent is not going to get you everywhere. The grit is what's going to get you. So a lot of agents come in and they want the highest, most exclusive, best quality lead, but they don't have much money to be able to invest in those. So they only get 30 leads or they only get 15 leads. When you're learning and when you're new, the biggest and most important thing is opportunities. I tell people all the time, what if I told you that success, whatever success looks like to you, whether that's 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, whatever. What if I were to tell you that success has absolutely nothing to do with skill set and it has everything to do with conversation? It's huge, right? And how do you have an unlimited amount of conversations? With leads. And with leads, getting the most amount of conversations possible is based on the quantity, not always just the quality. So as a new agent, if I give you a minimal 100 leads for you to work, that's going to give you so many more opportunities compared to someone that gets 15 and now 8 of them don't even answer and you're struggling, you can't close anybody, and now you're confused and you're blaming it on the leads. But if you have 100 opportunities to go through, even if this is an age lead, there's going to be some yeses in there. There's some laydowns in there. I tell people all the time, 30% of people will tell you yes, as long as you get them on the phone. You get them on the phone, you present to them. It doesn't matter if you're stumbling over your words, you're struggling, whatever. They're going to say yes. These people, as long as it makes sense financially and they can qualify for it, they're going to say yes. 20% of people are going to say no matter what you say. And 50% come from a skill set. So in the beginning, the goal is to get as many 30%ers as possible. And that's going to come through work ethic. But you have to have enough opportunities. Now you make this easy money and now you're able to invest in your business to keep growing. That's my idea when it comes to the age leads. It's really just a volume thing. We want to make sure you have as close to 100 leads as possible. So that way you can just go and have as many conversations as possible. Getting to 100 presentations within your first month is really the goal. So that's going to give you the best opportunity to do so.
Got you. Got you. And then I would say the last thing, can you talk about the recruiting leads, just your experience with them? Because you were the first client that we ever had do recruiting leads. I remember I had a conversation with you back, I think it was December,
Yeah.
January. I was like, dude, gotta get on these recruiting leads.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing it. You know what I mean? And obviously you've seen how many leads come in for what you guys are paying. So can you kind of just talk about your experience? What's your script, I guess, when you're calling them, for anybody that might be interested in doing something similar? What's kind of your expectations? Because I don't even think we've ever talked about this either. So I kind of want to know, what do you tell, new people coming in, and how should they approach those leads?
Yeah, so with the recruiting leads, number one, they're very affordable. We've obviously fine-tuned some things throughout the experience to make sure that we're isolating a specific type of avatar that we're looking for. So that's what you get based on what we put in the ads. You're speaking with exactly what you're looking for, and it's very affordable. So it's huge, and you get a ton of quantity. So you get all these agents, unlicensed agents, whatever you're targeting. You're going to get a ton of leads, number one. And the way I approach them is super simple. Like, shoot them a text, shoot them a call. If they answer, great. I set it up as if it's like an interview. And the good thing is I'm on the ad. So they're talking to me, they're interested in me, they're interested in the brand. When we talk, it's like super simple. Hey, thank you for reaching out about more information about working with us potentially here at First Class Agencies. But just fill me in. What exactly are you looking for in a new opportunity? What are you currently doing? I want to make sure that from day one, they remember why they filled the ad out and just get a good idea on what their goals are and what they're looking to be able to do. And that really gives me a position on how to position this conversation moving forward. So that's really my goal from there. It's really just like an interview. Like it's super simple. I'm asking them, what their goals are, what's their why, what's going to push them when they're down, why have they not had the success yet, what do they think is the reason why. I'm trying to see if they're going to blame other people or they take ownership over themselves, depending on their experience. I'm going to ask what that has looked like, what's gave you the success you have, what's hurt you, and what we can really do to create solutions for them. So I want them to sell themselves on me, and then I sell them on the opportunity. And it's the same thing with leads, right? Like I take the same approach, whether it's a recruiter or a lead. It's literally the same thing. I treat it the exact same way. And, I just take them down the same path. And then at the end, I'm giving them a solution and give them opportunity. And then, they take it from there, and you close them. So it's the same thing as it is with a lead. If someone is interested in a solution that you have for them, and you have to figure out how to paint the picture on what it looks like for working with you. But obviously you want to do an inventory first to figure out how to find that solution. And once you got the solution, they're sold.
Got you. Got you. No, I appreciate you for sharing that. And this is really, the floor is yours. Information, advice, wisdom, people that are, let's say we could do two of them. So one for the individual agent that's coming to work with us, seeing the testimonials on our page, everything is like, hey man, what advice can you give to them? And then an agency owner that just got on board into the same package that you're in, same setup you're in, advice, feedback, floor is yours. What would you tell them about working with us here?
As an agent, I think depending on, if you have money or don't really have money, you're going to be a little hesitant because we're just kind of trained to not trust lead vendors. This isn't lead vendor, it's different, right? Like Trey was an agent. He's been doing this for years. He's worked with multiple agents, multiple agency owners. Right? So he understands where you're at, and he's not going to recommend anything for you that doesn't make sense. I've had Trey literally tell some of my guys that are like, hey, give me the highest quality lead. And he recommends, no, don't do that. This is what I recommend, because he's seen the success with my organization as well as many others on the steps that you need to take as a brand new agent to have success in this industry. So if you're just an agent, you can trust Trey, you can trust his team. They're extremely professional. They're going to lead you in the right direction. And they have like this community of people that you are able to plug into as well to get questions answered, see people winning. It's really cool. So you've done a great job with that. And as an agency owner, your goal is to really put your team and your agency in a position to win. Trey has a solution for every one of your problems, whether it's the CRM, whether it's the recruiting side, whether it's just the lead side, and he can pivot. He can take anyone at scale. Doesn't matter how many agents. I've given him 5 agents. I've given him 100 agents, and he's been able to take them all on. And there's never been an an issue at all. He's very communicative. Obviously, he's busy, but he's willing to, make sure that your answers are always getting answered. He delegates very well, meets with you often. So it's just a great experience. He takes customer service it's very important to him, I can tell. And so for us, it's just been a great experience from day one. I love the fact that we've been able to grow in business together. And this relationship, this partnership is going to go down until one of us leaves the industry. So I'm not leaving. I know you don't really plan on leaving. So I'm excited to just see how far we take this thing. But definitely don't be hesitant. Obviously, you're going to have some questions. You're going to answer those questions. Jump in. I don't know what you're waiting on, because at the end of the day, if you were where you wanted to be, you want to be on the call with Trey. So might as well try it out, see how it goes. And I promise you that you'll appreciate it.
Yeah, no, for sure, brother. Well, I appreciate you as always, guys. If you're watching this video, make sure you get in contact with one of our customer service reps, or just go to our website. At the bottom, there's multiple places where you can click contact us or book a call to get some more information. But I hope this is helpful. These videos are for y'all. I don't really get too much out of it outside of you guys being able to get questions answered from people that aren't me, because it is my business. So I'm always going to tell you it's good, but it's good to hear from other people, different experiences. So been a long time coming. I appreciate you for hopping on, for real.
You too, brother.
And as always, if you guys are looking for an agency to tap into, I'm not even lying to you, this gentleman right here has defied odds twice. And I just don't want that to go over into y'all heads. Like, building a business to $1 million 2 times, not once, but twice, like basically starting over with no pride either. I want y'all to understand this gentleman has no pride. He's willing to do anything. I've watched him. I don't even want to tell you how much money this man has spent on his agents, but he spent a lot of money to see them succeed. And we didn't even get into that. But trust me when I tell y'all, if you guys are looking for a quality leader and a business-minded man, not just an agency owner, tap in with him. And you guys will see him on my Instagram. You could look his name up on Instagram as well if you guys need anything. So appreciate you guys, and see you guys next time.